Hi, this is Delta. In this video, I want to talk about resistance. By resistance, I mean anything that makes it harder for something to happen. I think productivity is a really interesting topic, and immersing myself into it taught me many things. But it also taught me to solve every problem by trying harder. I used to get into cycles of trying extremely hard to make a change, burning myself out and completely falling back again, and that cycle kept repeating itself. After many of these frustrating cycles, I started thinking and learning more about this. At some point, it turned out that the problem wasn't actually a lack of motivation. The problem was that I was trying to do way too many and way too big things at once. I simply couldn't handle it with the energy I had available at the time. And paradoxically, my over-the-top actions were actually the thing keeping me stuck there. It was like I was driving and trying to make the car go faster by flooring the gas pedal, only to realize that the handbrakes were still on. I had tunnel vision. I wanted to change things, but the only way I knew how to was working even harder to get there. But in the process, I completely failed to realize that I could actually make my limited energy count way more, with barely any cost. What if, instead of working harder, I'd make the work easier instead? That idea was pretty big to me, because it actually worked. And I found over the years that it's something you can apply everywhere. Before that, I only knew how to work harder at things. Now, I was learning how to remove resistance instead. Another interesting thing is that you can also do the opposite. You can also add resistance to achieve certain things. For example, you want to eat less candy. That was actually something I tried to do at some point. But it's pretty hard to do that when your whole pantry is stuffed with sweet things. If you look at it through the lens of resistance, the problem is that it's way too easy to get your hands on it. So what if instead, you decide to only buy a certain amount at the store every week? Now there's a hard cap on how much you can have in the house. Now if you want to eat more, you have to put on your shoes and your jacket, go to the store, find the right aisle, check the bag out, go back home, etc, etc. And you probably won't feel like doing that when you just want some candy. So, you've effectively raised the resistance. And you don't have to spend nearly as much energy resisting things, because it's simply not there. I think it's pretty cool the way it works. I've found that playing with resistance has been the most useful way for me to make hard things easier. Once I had an assignment for school to make something, and I really didn't feel like doing it. It was the last subject of my whole study, so I had barely any motivation. So I got my trusty lens, and I looked at how I could reduce its resistance again. The problem was that I knew that school would just throw it away right after it was graded. And I was about to spend so much effort on it, so it felt like I was just making something useless. And in general, I also just found the assignment boring. So I challenged myself. I was going to do the absolute minimum amount of work to pass the subject. And from there on, it was way easier to do it because it turned into an optimization challenge. And I think those are pretty fun. I was also not doing it for school anymore, and that also made it way more enjoyable. I was now doing to see how little energy I can spend on it and still pass. And it was kind of cheeky to reframe it like this, but I actually passed the subject, barely as I intended. And instead of it being a boring school assignment, I had treated it as a fun challenge for myself, and that's what even allowed me to get that far. Things like that can be really helpful, I think. So I hope this way of looking at things can also be helpful to you. Things don't happen in isolation. There are all kinds of invisible resistances that make certain things happen more or less easily. And once I started looking for them, I found them everywhere. I don't know, maybe there are also things in your own life where you can make things easier instead of working harder. Anyhow, I hope you liked this video one way or the other. If you have any of your own examples or ideas about this, I'd love to talk about it. So, I hope you had an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!